everyone. Hope you're having a fantastic Wednesday. This is not going to be my usual type of coaching live video, but I want to talk one of the aspects or qualities of feminine energy, of feminine leadership that I see is really needed in the world in this day and age. And it is how we look at differences, how we perceive our differences, and how this perception pushes us to behave in a certain way. One of the manifestations of the wounded masculine is to see difference as threat. And I personally see that some of it is making way into the spiritual world, making way into how we perceive our sameness. And so we think that yes, we know that we are all humans, and that is the thing that makes us the same. But it feels like we are pushing some of us to subscribe to one version of the sameness so that others are not triggered by the difference. Because I see that someone is different from me in language, race, ethnicity, whatever is danger, and I have to always remind them that we're the same, and so you have to act like we're the same, and so that I'm not triggered by your difference. I don't see how that is serving us. I don't see how that is serving humanity. I can't say I don't see color, I don't see race, I don't see ethnicity. Because to the feminine, it is important that we see that and celebrate it. I can't tell others not to celebrate what makes them special. I'm not saying that it makes them better than others. But, these differences, they are important for some of us. I know, like, to me, I carry Brazilian blood and Lebanese blood. It doesn't add to my humanity. It doesn't make me a better person, but this is something special about me that I love and I celebrate, I accept. And I'm not using that as a reason to perpetuate division. This is the least that we need right now in the world. We don't need division. But to wear this mask or to just say, we're all the same, so that we're pushing others to adhere to the sameness because that difference triggers us, is not a healthy way to address this. To the feminine, differences are a manifestation of abundance, of richness. It is one way I get to see how much beauty there's in this world. I can share with you a personal story. My mom, who was born in Brazil, she would always tell us about her African friends. And although as kids we never saw, I was not exposed to African people, but my mom was drawing this image inside our minds of how beautiful her African friends were. She was talking about their tight, beautiful, glowing skin and their bodies, their toned bodies. And so to me, that is the image that was created inside my mind. And I find it really annoying how in my culture we still look at um, at African women as maybe less feminine or less attractive. Again, because of this idea that, different is bad. Personally, I love to learn about different cultures. I love how my African friends have this super special connection to Mother Earth. How their culture is so rich with ancient wisdom. And also, my friends from Eastern Europe, they have so many stories to tell about their culture. And I don't need to make that an excuse to like not have nothing to do with them, not deal with them. I have friends from all walks of life. Alan. Um, and we talk about everything. We talk about religion. We talk about all the things that we have different among us. And this should not be something scary. This should not be something that we avoid. We can talk about these differences from a place of inclusion, from a place of um, seeing these differences as contributing to connection, to community, to inclusion. Because again, this is how the feminine sees the community. It's not about being all the same. The feminine is never threatened by difference. Difference is not something scary. This is a fear-based mentality. This is wounded feminine. This is wounded masculine mentality. And to me, I have read books of atheists, of people who have different beliefs, and this would never stop me from learning more. And this is what I see in my culture. Oh, I can't read for this writer because he's an atheist, or he is of a different religion. And this is the lamest excuse for ignorance. I don't think there's a more stupid excuse for ignorance. I'm not, afraid I'm going to be like someone else, because I celebrate my differences. I celebrate what makes me who I am, and I celebrate that of others as well. And I cannot let that fear hold me back from learning about others. When today, one lady was telling me that believers in Germany are killing those who they considered non-believers, and also women. And she asked me to educate myself on that fact. Feeding our brains with the bullshit that the media is telling us does not qualify as education. This is not how you educate yourself. You have to learn about other religions. You have to learn about other cultures and use your own discernment. Use your own superpowers to make your own opinion. This is something that I see in all cultures. Someone creates this idea, comes up with this opinion about a certain group of people, and I directly subscribe to that without using my own discernment. We need to be open but discerning from our hearts. Yes, exactly, Renata. Thank you. I cannot say that. Thank you. I can't say that, just because the media that has, their own agenda, they're feeding my brain with all of these information, and say that, I'm educating myself, and I ask others to educate themselves, because prejudice is not part of education. If you're going to address something, or see it through the filter of your own prejudice, there's zero education in that. if education does not push you to widen your horizon, to open your mind, to really be willing to learn about others and not see them as threat just because there is some kind of difference between you and them, this is not education. This is another excuse to remain ignorant. And this is the least that the world needs right now. I can't say, we're the same, act like we're the same, do the things that others are doing, like the majority are doing, so that you don't look different because, others are being triggered by these differences. I don't need to defend, I don't need to prove to others that just because I'm a Muslim and I'm an Arab, that I'm not a terrorist. Also, Black people, they don't owe me the justification that they are good people. It is my own responsibility to learn the facts, to educate myself, to put all of this prejudice aside and really be willing to learn about other people. To me, I'm going to, to say it like the way it is. If you feel triggered by my Arabic posts or my use of the words in my scripture or whatever, whenever I'm expressing my belief as a Muslim, feel free to unfriend me. But I'm not going to not go into that because this is where I'm different and I'd rather stay with where I'm the same. Because I don't see different as a threat. You can come to me and talk to me about anything regarding your culture, regarding your religion, and I would love to learn about all of that. And I do not see that as a threat. I can't evaluate your belief. It's not my responsibility. I have nothing to do with your connection to the Creator or whatever you see that entity as. To know and experience the people directly, exactly, not through the perception of others. And I want to add something that it is written in my holy scripture, in the Holy Quran. It says that God has created us differently, different races and different languages, different people, for us to get to know each other. It's not a reason for division. It's not a reason for separation. We should not use that as an excuse to remain in our ignorance and in our prejudice and be unaccepting of others. There's beauty in that difference. It is not something that I should be scared of. I would love to learn about other cultures. And somebody else's connection to God is their own business, and this is something that I can share about in my culture. I can share with all of you. Some of us just love to judge others based on their appearance or what they say. We love to evaluate their belief. We love to judge whether they're going to hell or to paradise. I have been judged a lot the last week because I have spoken about some controversial people in my culture. And it's always the same filter that people look at me through. And they come up with their own judgment about about me or about my belief without even trying to understand my point. I love when we share our differences and find our commonalities. Yes, Renata, thank you. And me talking about this, I remember our chats and how, like you said, even through our differences, we find so much alike. Even when we're discussing different things in different cultures, we get to that point where we meet, where there is this one point of intersection. God doesn't evaluate our intellectual understanding. She sees our hearts. Exactly. That's very true, and this is also true in my belief as well. And so I really don't believe in this. We're all the same. We have to act the same. I see it like one way we're just bypassing the fact that we are triggered by differences. We're just pretending that we we accept these differences, but if we really accept these differences, we act like we accept these differences. I see that difference and I celebrate it. I think it's beautiful, and I think it's adding to the richness of our own experience. There's so much for me to learn about other cultures, other races, other ethnicities, and it's okay if we discuss that. Why are we afraid of discussing these things? If I come into the discussion with the predisposition that I'm going to um, speak or perceive things through my filter of prejudice, then I'm not being authentic. I'm not being honest. Um, I'm not using the superpowers of my inner feminine, of inclusiveness, empathy, connection, community. Because if I am threatened by differences, this is the wounded masculine within me. The feminine is never threatened by differences. We are truly more alike on the heart level than different. Yeah, exactly. Definitely, that is so true. But my point is that we should not use that as a way of staying away from differences, because this is going to push others to subscribe to one version of the sameness so that they don't trigger others. And I really don't believe in that. Yes, when we start discussing all of these differences, we do get to that intersection point where we see that we are the same at the level of the heart, but we should not use any of you know we should not be afraid of um, talking about the differences in a way that allows us to celebrate these differences and not be afraid of them. Expand us, yes, exactly, because there's so much for me to learn from you, so much for me to learn from my other friends, um, who are from different backgrounds, different continents, different cultures, and this adds to my own human experience. This adds to my own wisdom, and I can use it. I truly believe that I can use it to build stronger connections, to build healthier connections, and to allow others to totally accept all that they are and all that has contributed to the making of who they are, and to feel free to talk to me about what makes them special, not because again it makes someone better than the other. This is not the point. We Each and every one of us, we have something that makes us special, and I think that we all deserve to celebrate that. Bridge polarities, yes, and we become more whole. That's true. This is when we see how much we need each other, and this is how we realize that why in science, science tells us that we are engineered, we're wired to connect. And so this is not just something that is there in philosophy books or in holy scriptures. It is within our engineering, within our bodies. We were created to connect, and if we're going to connect, we cannot bypass or don't touch that place where it's don't go there where we're talking about differences. We have to realize that this adds to the beauty of our own experience. We need each other. We do, Renata. Thank you for joining, Renata, thank you for your beautiful comments, and to everyone who has watched this, thank you. And I would love to hear your thoughts about this as well. Whether you agree or disagree, I would love to hear what you have to say. And if you would like to share any story about, how maybe you were empowered to share these differences, or maybe not, maybe disempowered to share these differences. Also, I would love to hear your stories about that. Thank you, ladies. Goodbye.